The Call of Duty Championship is now in its third year, roughly the equivalent of an ice age in internet time. In those 3 years though, the entire esports industry has seen astonishing growth. Now tournaments of COD, League of Legends, Dota, StarCraft, Hearthstone and more are packing out entire stadiums of fans. Elite pro players are enjoying salaries and social media followings well into 6 figures. The advertising for many esports events is now valued in billions. Some tournaments are even beginning to pique the interest of mainstream media, prompting them to ask whether it's time it was recognized as a legitimate sport. But how do those actually working on the scene feel like it's changed?
This is the first time we've had the public come in to COD Champs, and just the atmosphere has changed. It's much more like people are excited. They're clapping after matches. It's like being at a live event. It's like being at a baseball game or a soccer game. It's really amazing. It's just great to see this community coming together and really celebrating this level of competition.
In terms of the gameplay, the players have got so much better. That's the key. And different continents have got better at the game as well. So the level of competition this year has been better than ever before.
The professionalism of everyone has gone up, right? Production values has gone up, and we're starting to pay attention more to like, all right, how does this affect the fan, the viewer, and all that stuff, which I think is super important for what we're trying to do.
I remember the first time I watched one and the casters are sitting back in shorts and t-shirts just kind of casting, and now everybody's in their suit and tie up on stage with cameras and lights shining in their faces. Like it's really evolving, and it's becoming something new, like that it's growing into its own, it's maturing in its own way.
It might be growing up fast, but really esports is still in its infancy, and many of its professional players have just barely reached adulthood. Nevertheless, the majority of these guys take competing incredibly seriously, approaching training with the same discipline and dedication a more traditional athlete might, and receiving coaching on everything from money management to how to conduct themselves in a press interview. It can actually be a little disconcerting just how composed these teenagers are, but then there is up to $1 million at stake in the Call of Duty Championship alone. Dota 2's annual tournament, the International, has a prize pool currently sitting at over $10 million. Those are life-changing amounts of cash, but why do the competitors have to be so young?
The tournament's just gotten so much faster, and it's just the players have to be on the next level to really participate and to really compete in this event.
You know, when you hit that kind of age of like 24, 25, you're going to lose reaction time. It's something which is just going to happen.
The regular people wouldn't notice it, but when you're talking about milliseconds of reaction time, it actually decreases. So, you know, a typical 16, 17, 18-year-old is a little quicker than a 22 or 23-year-old. What we are seeing, though, is a little bit more age at the end of the career, because knowing how to perform at this level of competition and having that kind of strategic and teamwork background that the veteran players have, it's a huge advantage. And so, you know, you're playing veteran characteristics versus, you know, youth and speed.
It isn't just the players making bank, lots of young people have made careers out of esports, including its suit-wearing shoutcasters and YouTubers. Not all tournaments will have prize pools as big as the International, but most of the popular players can supplement their income with sponsorships, like Optic Gaming's Matt Nadeshot Haig, who just last weekend announced his retirement from Optic and competitive gaming at the ripe old age of 22. Or with regular Twitch streams and donations. There's big money to be made here, not least by the developers and advertisers. So where does esports go from here? Is there still room for it to grow? And can the industry rely on the steady stream of spectators and fans to continue getting bigger?
Well, it certainly is bigger than it's ever been. And when I look around at what other big esports venues are doing around, you know, some places I look up to, right? League of Legends and CSGO, and what StarCraft is doing in Asia, right? Like, there are examples of a massive appetite for both players and fans to participate.
It's the same thing with television. Like, we get asked all the time, is it ever going to be on television? And we have a bigger audience than television. So, yeah.
The players are going to a regimen of like practice sessions and scrims and all that stuff. So, and they're engaged too, right? So I think people are starting to realize that it is larger than just playing a video game. You know?
There is an opportunity, right? There's a massive opportunity on a global scale. We know that gamers represent more discretionary entertainment time than any other form of entertainment. You know, players associations and formal leagues and bigger venues and more global participation that will make this even bigger than what you see today.
The next level, realistically, is just more fans. I think that's the first thing. You know, you get a bigger venue. This is a really good test, I think, this year. next year, you know, like who knows? We've seen esports fill up massive stadiums like IEM1. We've seen different events across the world, like Staples Center's been sold out for League of Legends, etc. But where we're at right now, I think everything is going at a constant pace.
Yeah.
For me, I'll be worried if all of a sudden we spike, because then it's kind of uncontrollable, could be a little bit volatile. But the constant level of growth we have right now is really, really good for us.
We are human beings. Each and every one of us. This must not go on. This injustice must end.